So what's gonna happen to P-diddy if he goes to prison? Now, with all the hype, all the rumors, you gotta understand what's what. The man got hit with a RICO, sex trafficking. That means there's more than one person. The RICO Act alone is when a person is involved with an enterprise that commits up to, I think, 50 different felonies. Yet, he's the only person I've seen charged with racketeering that has only been arrested, which I believe he's working as a Fed. He's been working as a Fed, an undercover agent, and he is a sick fuck. He has abused and used, just like an Epstein. They don't care who they use, who they abuse, whose lives they destroy. It's always about money and power. You go back to all the things he's done, from the nightclub shooting with J-Lo and Sean Pope, and how he got out of that. Literally got Sean Pope 10 years, made him take the pistol charge. Even back in the 90s when he put on a concert and I think 18 people died when the stadium collapsed because of his wrongdoing by filling it up with too many people, knowing it was wrong. To the murder of Biggie, the murder of Pac, him brutally beating his girl, just stomping her in one of the most vicious coward acts we've ever seen. It's no secret. A hurt dog's always gonna holler. And we've known this dude is evil, but not only that is he's fucking with kids. He's a real chomo piece of shit. However, in prison, I think it's a little different than what we see than somebody that normally would be hit with a RICO. Because when they come down with racketeering and RICO, they're bringing 4 or 5 dudes, That's what they use to take down organizations like Latin Kings, the Mafia, Sex, Money, Murder, Larry Hoover, the Gangster Disciples. So this dude was doing some real vicious shit with some high power players. And sometimes looks can be deceiving. Him begging to get out on bond, him doing all this. He could be like Sammy the Bull, just sitting there giving information. Except with Sammy the Bull, Gravano, who told on the Gambino family, John Gotti, he was responsible for 19 murders. Not physically all of them, but he participated, helped orchestrate them, and he ended up doing less than 4 years because his information was so valuable to the government. The money, the killings, the power. The government does not like competition. However, when you are raping, destroying people's lives, it's not just adults getting fucked up, having fun, whatever, and shit goes bad. No. You are ruining people's lives. You are viciously assaulting, murdering, beating, destroying people, killing people, fucking with kids, man. There is no coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. So I always looked at like he's an informant. He's a CI because he got away with too much for too long. And even the stuff that went on in that hotel, even the stuff with him and Nas when they went in the studio, beat the shit out of the dude, or when the guy got shot in his bathroom, the drug overdoses, Porter who died from quote unquote pneumonia, Biggie who was having one of the biggest rivalries, Pac just got killed and he's in the West Coast with no real security. You got guys like Suge Knight that have nothing to gain. Obviously, they were enemies, but the dude's sitting in California State Prison telling us about this stuff. You got 50 telling us about this stuff and so many other people, but here's the thing. Where was everybody 10 years ago? If you knew kids were getting hurt, if you knew that all this crazy drugging and raping and people were having to just completely humiliate themselves and not even remember whatever the fuck baby oil weird shit they had going on, how come nobody said, you know what, I don't care if this cost me my career, kids are getting hurt? Because they're dealing with a level of power, greed, drugs. Kids are getting hurt. Even you look at so many rumors, but you start to look what Justin Bieber's going through, what he's saying. You watch the interview of Usher on Howard Stern when he's talking about he was around that as a teenager and they used to sleep in the bed like, what the fuck? Now, This is how I look at it before I get into the whole prison thing. I know people like their celebrities, but once you cross that line and you are convicted creep and we see it, I can no longer fuck with you. Now, why is it that a guy like Harvey Weinstein, all that sex trafficking bullshit, the doctor in the Olympics, Nassar, all that sex trafficking and raping all those little girls and young women in the Olympics. You got R. Kelly, just we all know the nasty shit he was doing, sex trafficking, peeing on women, like what the fuck? Little girls. I don't know if y'all remember a rapper named Mystical. Raped somebody, got out and raped somebody again, 10 years, that he did in prison back to back. And you see all this. It's in entertainment, it's in politics, it's in music, it's in film, and there's always some sick, demonic, evil, sexual shit going on with all of them, involving kids and humiliation and just drugs, and yet it's always in our face. You see it in the movies, all the music. There's still music out today produced by Sean Diddy Combs. Movies, Harvey Weinstein. Is as evil gets. Sports with the Dr. Nassar and so many other coaches and players, all these wolves in sheep clothing, and they're taking advantage of kids. They use their power, almost like, hey, if you want this, this is what it is. And these demonic people hide in plain sight. Then they go to prison. You look at Nassar, stabbed up. You look at the guy from that 70s show, stabbed up, beat up. Now with Diddy, I think that he has been working with the government for a long time. And he has so much information on so many different people that when I say what will happen to him in prison, there's a chance he could get a hit. We saw what happened to Epstein. We see what happens to serial killers, some of the most high-profile inmates and people that go to prison. They get hit. The cameras don't work. Accidents happen. You have Aaron Hernandez hanging in his cell. Dr. Nassar stabbed up. R. Kelly beaten up in his cell. Now, with Diddy, I would normally say this is a guy that would get extorted and killed, and because money only means you're attracting people that want to have it, to take everything from you. Doesn't matter if you're in protective custody in prison. If dudes that are shot callers of these big organizations, they're not just these little gangs running around. They're running the show in the prison, out of the prison. They have thousands and thousands of members worldwide that will do whatever it takes to move up in the mob, basically. So with Diddy, just like with Gravano, he was untouched. He went back to prison for 20 years after he told on Gotti, 19 murders, did 4 years, got out, got an ecstasy ring, went right back for almost 20 years, and now he's a famous podcaster, untouched. Yet, I show you video after video after video of people getting murdered, killed, tortured, extorted, beaten, poisoned, whatever it may be. And whoever they want to touch will get touched. They'll get hit up. And Diddy is working with the feds, just like Whitey Bulger, the notorious gangster from Boston. He was working with the feds, untouchable, America's Most Wanted, gone for almost 20 years. They catch him. They realize he embarrassed the feds, fucked everybody over. They take the FBI agent to prison for 10 years. They arrest Bulger. Within 2 weeks of him being convicted, he's beaten to death in a notorious federal prison. It all depends on what Diddy's use is. If he doesn't have any use, and what he's saying, the tapes, the power, the money, whatever he's involved in, then it's an easy kill, because all an inmate has to do is stab him up and they'll say, well, he's a fucking chomo. So I think in the long run, he's being hidden in a really protective area. And a lot of stuff we see is just hype to hide his hand. And he's telling on a lot of people. And a lot of these celebrities are going to go under. Millions and millions of dollars will be spent. They'll have Diddy in some type of protective custody, witness protection type of deal. He should be more scared about who his handlers are than the inmates. He's an easy kill. Stay out, stay free. Us.